Hey y'all, sorry I couldn't do this in person. I am in the midst of an Alaska trip here tomorrow morning. So just some thoughts in regards to asking for monies from our service teams. One, I think the environment and the time is really important. I haven't seen you guys do it. So I feel like I can't give a ton of feedback, but I do know where you do it, making sure that it is a comfortable environment, that it is done after people have had significant moments with neighbors, and when they're not exhausted. Quite honestly, if they're hungry or exhausted from a long week, it's going to be a little bit tougher to actually get them to ponder giving. So be thinking through the environment and the timing, making sure that it's after they've experienced some really sweet moments with our guests. I would say start it with both affirmation and questions. And so what I mean by that is, Melanie, Kate, if you guys have seen people do incredible work throughout the week, just start with a full-on affirmation, individual. Hey, this is what I saw in you. This is what I saw in you. This is what I thank you. We do not take this for granted. And then also questions. Well, what was the most heartbreaking thing that you witnessed? What was something that shifted a paradigm for you this week? Get all that stuff out prior to making the ask. The ask is I would say, is pretty simple. One, let them know that you're gonna make the ask, and I would actually go, hey guys, we are in the practice of asking all of the people that experience our ministry whether or not they will become a financial partner, and what we're actually asking isn't for you to give. We're asking for you to actually pray about giving, and you just be courageous enough to do what you hear Jesus tell you to do. And so really feel the pressure come off when you're asking them, because you're not asking them to give. You're asking them to consider prayer about giving, and then doing what God says to do, regardless of how crazy it might sound. And so you're asking for prayer. Let them know, hey guys, we are going to make a pitch here, but I want you to hear us. We're not asking you to give financially. We're asking you to actually be prayerful about giving financially. Put this back on them and their relationship and intimacy with Christ. I then would go to need. And so right now, we are seeing the convergence, and I think this is important. People will feel this. We're seeing the convergence of inflation, post-COVID realities, the influx of immigrants in our region at least, the slowing down of employment and jobs that are open. AI is now starting to finally have an impact where we're seeing less and less entry-level jobs, as well as politicization of our most vulnerable neighbors. And so all those things kind of are happening at the same time, which means we need to be prepped. Because as Josiah talks about it, we're I think it's called the trough of the tsunami, where it feels like things are somewhat manageable, like it's maybe not as bad as we thought it was going to be, but what we're actually feeling and experiencing right now is the rescinding of the water, where all of a sudden it's like it was creeping up on you, now it's going back, and I think we're going to be all right. And based on eviction notices, based on utility shutoffs, based on employment numbers, and job opportunities, employment opportunities, what it's pointing to is that the tsunami is actually coming, and it's coming strongly. And so once you get them in the right environment, once you get them well fed, once you get them thinking curiously about what they've just experienced, then you're going to actually talk about the convergence of things that have led to the problem. You're going to talk about the fact that this last year we served 65,000 people, which is a 28% increase from the year before. And so after you've actually communicated the problem, go, but hey, good news, because of financial partners we've had, from individuals to church communities as a whole to corporations, we've been able to do things we've never been able to do in the history of our organization before. And we don't take that for granted either. There's some serious spiritual, financial momentum that is working, even organizational health. Like, we got some things that are moving in the right direction, and celebrate that with them. One of the things that a lot of people in development will say is money makes money. And so I don't know how true that actually is, but it's the idea of, like, really identify what we should be confident about and celebrate it. And this year specifically, we have some serious organizational health happening. We have a new mobilization center. We have new directors like BJ. We have new directors like Jason and John Deere. Like, financially, we hit $3.5 million. Like, there's a lot of really good momentum. So just kind of go, here's the problem, here's part of the solution, but we need to increase and we need to scale, and that doesn't happen without financial partners. Then you're going to move to this. This is what you want to have on hand. This is for monthly giving. It is a $42 a month cost, and this provides our food and our access to clothing and our LCV process for one neighbor every month. $42. That is the mark that we want to ask people to support at and step into as a relief partner. That's the language we're using right now, a relief partner. And so this is what you're going to show them. Now, here is the twist. You're going to say, hey, if you've ever seen a Compassion or a World Vision pitch for monthly support, you usually see a kid's face on this. And it's super sweet, and we should give to things like that. We can't put a face on this because nobody wants to be the face of homelessness. These are hands of a father or mother or daughter or son, somebody that is made in the image of God and nobody chooses homelessness. And then here's how I end. Outside of this, I would say $42 isn't that much. I mean, add up your coffees, add up an extra Uber ride, whatever it is. Most people can figure out how to navigate $42 a month, especially if they're coming on this mission trip. But last, I would end with this, and this is kind of what I go to all the time. Our neighbors need you. If they met people, use their names, right? If they met Joe, if they met Jamo, if they met Harry, if they met whoever they met, if they met Casper, use their names. They need you. They need your resources. This is what is going to lead to a life of flourishing, a support network, potentially the gospel of Jesus if they haven't known it. But if Matthew 25, and this is the turn that I take, if Matthew 25 is legitimate and Jesus mysteriously resides with the thirsty, the hungry, and the naked, if Luke 5 is true, and the context for Jesus' ministry is actually with the captive and the lame and the blind, and that the Beatitudes of Jesus are real in Matthew 5, and Jesus' kingdom is with and among the meek and the mourning, then yes, Casper needs me, but more than that, I need Casper. My spiritual formation is deficient without close proximity, without learning from the poor. So I hope that helps. Just to recap, environment is important. Get them food. Make sure they're well rested and not cranky from a long trip, right? Make sure that you start with some curiosity where you're asking them about some of their most significant moments. I'm guessing you guys already do this. And then move into the urgent need. Talk tsunami, talk the convergence of things, talk about the great things we've seen done in the last year and how we're up to meeting some of the increased need and demand in homelessness, 65,000. Then move to the action step. Nobody wants to be a face of homelessness. $42 a month. You can technically change around your budget. If you can't, you can't, but most likely you can. And then make sure you shift the paradigm. This isn't just for our unhoused neighbors. This is for you and your spiritual formation. Jesus is super clear. Think that is all outside of the fact that you are not asking them to give. You are asking them to pray and be bold enough to do what they hear Jesus ask them to do. Hope that's helpful. Think the world of you guys.